What's up, all you weirdo Spider-Man loving dudes and dudettes? Toy Shiz here, and I got yet another Retro Shiz video for you today. We are totally going to be checking out the Toy Biz 2004 Spider-Man Classics Series 5, the Manga Spider-Man. Now, I pulled this guy out of my collection just to show him off because I was going through my stuff and I was like, wait a minute. This figure is actually pretty awesome. I'm totally digging it. And he's so obscure. Now, this was when the anime craze hit the United States, slowly built up, and Marvel was like, you know what, let's do a total Mangaverse, and thus Mangaverse Spider-Man was born. This version of Peter Parker deals with Spider-Clan and mystical magic, and Uncle Ben was his teacher, yada yada. Go read the story, it's bonkers, but makes for a pretty cool action figure. This was what was in the package back in the day for about, I believe, $8.99, $9.99 back in 2004. Basically a full base, you know, nice, super articulated figure. That's how it was back in the day, folks. That's just what they do with filling the box. You know what I mean? So we're gonna build up the base. We're gonna show off the figure. We're gonna show you his little gimmicky superpower. I'm very excited to show this off. This is the 2004 Spider-Man Classics by Toy Biz, the Mangaverse Spider-Man. And while I got all you anime maniacs here, I just want to say thanks so much for checking out my Retro Shiz video. If you like it, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment. Let's talk all things Mangaverse. So basically what you did is that you got one subsection of the wall, two subsections of the wall, and some piping with a little thing in the back that's going to help him kind of shimmy up the wall. So we'll go ahead and do that first. You had little pegs right there. You'd want to take this thing. Now, this is pretty cool. They put a little Spider-Man. I mean, this is painted amazing. You put this through the back of the wall. This kind of fits, and I'll show you what that exactly does. It just kind of slips through the two pieces, and then you just simply apply it to the back right there. You want to go slow. Make sure it's nice and snug. You go ahead and take the rain gutter right here, pop that together. It's two pieces. Pop it into the holes in the side of the brick building. Bingo bango. There you go. Let me show you. That's a really, really awesome accessory just for a Spider-Man figure. Now, here's old Mangaverse Spider-Man. He was called Manga Spider-Man, but they called it the Mangaverse in the actual comics. He's got a giant Spider-Man head, nice wide open eyes, interesting spider symbol. It goes from the painted web lines of the mask to the neck, and then forgoes it for the actual body of the costume. Nice dark gray. He had anime proportions, we'll say. You know, they tried to capitalize on that, but in either case, pretty cool. He's got a little spider backpack going on, a little red belt, and interesting articulation. Giant, almost anime cartoon shoes. Giant anime hands. He has little gauntlets. It wasn't until later that I believe this Spider-Man learned he could shoot webbing, something like that, but he kind of climbed. Basically, he's like a spider ninja. Articulation was at the head and at the neck, so it was kind of a two-fold. He kicked out that much, kicked out to the sides, which was a pretty interesting joint. He had single jointed knees, nothing at the ankle. Arms went out to the side, up, down on a ball joint, single jointed elbows, and he had this wrist swivel basically for the arms, and I think that really aided in the whole articulation of this figure. So basically what you do is you get his little claws right here, and they would hook in to the actual base. Right here, there's a couple holes right there, and then you would kind of just slip them in just like this. Kind of get him all situated. And then it looks like he's kind of crawling up the side of the building. So simultaneously, you could just kind of wiggle this thing up and down, and Spidey would descend. You get the idea. Toy Biz was always about the gimmicks. It sure made for a great base, I gotta say. Since standing here, I mean, imagine getting a bunch of different figures if they all had different kinds of the same base. You'd have a full cityscape. That was rad. Toy Biz definitely knew what was up. And just to show some scale comparison, here is the new Spider-Man from the 2-pack in his Yellow Jacket Digs. You got the 3 3/4 inch Spider-Man, the Toy Biz multi-jointed Spider-Man from back in the day, and then of course the manga Spider-Man, and he clocks in basically at 3 3/4 inch. He's going to make for a nice addition to your Spider-Verse. It's one of those figures where he's supposed to be smaller in stature. It just looks that way in the comics, and like I said, it applies more to that kid aspect, manga, anime nature, so it fits well, it's interesting. I think you're definitely going to like it. And just for more anime fun, manga, I've probably been saying manga, whatever it is. There he is with the relatively new Into the Spider-Verse SPDR and the Penny Parker from the basic line of the Into the Spider-Verse figures. And that's pretty cool. So that's going to do it for my Retro Shiz look back at the Toy Biz 2004 Wave 5 Spider-Man Classics. The manga Spider-Man, the manga-verse Spider-Man, kind of sort of anime Spider-Man, what have you. But it's actually a really interesting, really cool figure. Possibly one that I would like to see an update to. I don't know. What do you think? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk some Spider-Man manga action. I love the base. I think that's fantastic with what they used to get. I mean, look at the brickwork, everything. It doesn't compare anymore, but it sure is awesome to have. So, I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, there's only a couple good animes, and I'm going to say Cowboy Bebop and Big O and Fooly Cooly, and I don't want to hear anybody else say otherwise. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. You can say otherwise. Adios.
Change the apart. Kimi wa